In these changing times, artists and performers across Central Florida are creating new ways to connect with the world. They're sharing their gifts and inspiring us through social media, right from their living rooms. You're watching a new show on Vision TV called Live from Home, and we're starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm Renata Sago, your host and poet, yes, poet. Thank you, my dear, for being here in the midst of the uncertainty and fear. Our guest today performs far and near armed with words as his special gear. His name is Shawn Welcome. He's the man behind one of Central Florida's longest running spoken word poetry and performance nights, Diverse Word. Before COVID hit, that event was taking place every Tuesday at Dandelion Community Cafe in Orlando, right off Colonial and Mills. Diverse Word brings together a truly original blend of talent, from lyrical poets to guitarists to comedians who play the djembe. Shawn Welcome is the host and a poet powerhouse in his own right. Introducing Shawn Welcome.
Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what they're built for, I get it. Wanna be free at sea too, but seems like Hurricane COVID's holding the wind hostage, doing the most to stay afloat. Anchor in thick chain, clink straight to keep relationships from drifting away. Insta Zoom, booking faces live through the worldwide spider web of 5G, and every ounce of electricity to stay electrified while operating on a low pulse. I get it. My kids think it's a vacation. The kind that cruise ships offer. Oh, the irony, iron sharpening iron, when pastors and politicians each keep their congregations from complaining. Investors summon their inner prophet to predict future profits once the skies are clear. Much better than drowning in fear. I guess I've said nothing you didn't already hear, but there, in the middle of your living room floor, there is a fire. Cool and blue, and capable of consuming chaos that looks like lonely kiosks at Orlando International. The stillness sent us a song, from songbirds to sing, and we released them on our high school and college graduates in the form of bell-ringing drive-bys, waving with latex gloves to show love. The waves, the exercises, the games, the ways we healed through vibrations of an acoustic guitar. The harbor. It ain't what ships are built for, but in a storm of gray, there are elements invisible to the eye, ironically best observed from the bay.
Hey, Shawn. Deep, deep, and very realistic. Very real. Thanks for being here and sharing that poem. Can you
appreciate that, Renata?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you
Thanks
just
for having
write
me on the
that?
show.
Was that new?
This year, but yeah, it is. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, I wrote that piece there. So, just trying to highlight or point towards the things that we can take advantage of in this time. As challenging as it may be, you know, there's things that can only be observed from like a certain position, and while we want to be out there, you know, there's family time. There's all kinds of things that we can maybe try to look at to help us cope.
Right, absolutely. So when COVID hit, Diverse Word took a bit of a shift. You guys had initially been out at Dandelion. You were doing nights, very intimate nights, gatherings with some well-known acts. But you took it virtual, and one night you had a huge act, a comedian preacher Lawson. How was that?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, Preacher came out to Dandelion, or used to be there for years. I want to say maybe 2011, 2012. ish, somewhere around that time frame. He started coming out and was there for several years, just performing on a weekly basis. And when we transitioned open mic night to online, I reached out to him to see if he would come back on the show. Obviously, I mean, for those who don't know Preacher Lawson, he is world famous now, comedian doing shows all over the world, literally. And so he was glad to have him back as a guest just to talk about his process and how he's managing his space now.
Awesome. So one thing that I noticed about Diverse Word is that you guys bring a host of different kinds of people from across the region. Can you talk a bit about the purpose of the diversity of talent and sort of the mission that you have beyond just expressive words?
Yeah, so in terms of the diversity of talent, one of the main reasons that I started the open mic night to begin with was to sort of mix up the styles and the types of poems and the people. Like, I felt personally that the open mic nights prior to Diverse Word was a bit homogenous. You know, people kind of like in their same groups, or you would hear kind of the same things according to what venue you went to. And that's something I thought there was space for in Orlando to change up a little bit. And so, yeah, I feel like we just learn a lot from each other, and the more variety of voices we can hear. And yeah, we just grow, I think, as individuals. So that's really important for me. And having the open mic night online now, we're able to do that across the U.S. through poets that I've connected with across the country over the years.
I actually dropped into a virtual night. It was beautiful. You know, you had people not only from Central Florida, but also throughout the region. Can you talk a bit about the role that healing plays in the nights and the way that people are using the arts to find a sense of power and purpose?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, in the real, human contact space, there's something that we gain, just from connecting with each other and laughing with each other and hearing some music. Like there's just the energy that's there that we don't, necessarily have right now. And so the opportunity for people to come on the online platform, I think, creates, as much as we can, a sense of normalcy. We don't know like how the everyone being inside has impacted people individually. Like some people may think, oh, this is great. Like I've been an introvert my whole life, and now I have an opportunity to kind of hone in on that. There's different, economic impacts for people. And yeah, we just have different ways of dealing with how the impact of COVID-19 has affected us. So when they're able to get on this online Zoom call where they're hearing poetry and hearing other people's expression, across various topics, it does create that sense of normalcy, and at least for a moment can maybe either take your mind off of maybe something you may be struggling with. I mean, people since 2006 have been accustomed to having that sense of relief, in real time, in, human to human contact, or whatever. And so I feel like the space is already there, at least for those who are used to going out there, and there's no change. There's just, hey, we're doing it this way this time.
Now,
I think it brings a lot of healing for people, but you'd have to ask those, individuals how, I don't want to speak on anyone's behalf, but yeah.
Now, you yourself, you're originally from New York, but you moved to Florida when you were about 10 years old or so. Tell us a bit about the role that poetry played in your earlier years and your transition into adulthood.
Yeah, so in my earlier years, there wasn't much poetry, really. I mean, I feel like I've always been a creative. I used to like try to write like little plays with my cousins, or like try to do a makeshift book, like write my own little, books or whatever. But there wasn't a pronounced like I love poetry since I was a little kid. Like I was a basketball player, I had hoop dreams. Like I was an athlete. And so my senior year of high school, when I moved back up to Brooklyn, that's when I discovered that I had this gift for writing and creativity and expression. And I ended up moving back down to Orlando to start college. And I started to go to different open mic venues to find avenues to express this like newfound gift. And it snowballed from there. But yeah, so I mean, the role that it played in my life, I mean, it's opened up so many opportunities for me to develop my own speaking skills, my own comprehension skills. I've been able to do voiceover work with Full Sail University, and opportunities to speak to young people. And those weren't things that were necessarily like on my mind, but when I developed the discipline and the talent to create content and perform for audiences, it gave me that confidence and opened up those other opportunities for personal development.
Phenomenal. So how has this whole quarantine situation shifted maybe how you approach diverse word and the vision that you have for the night looking forward?
Okay, that's a good question. So I don't know. Let me see. So I think the vision for the online platform is I really want to just keep people connected as much as I can, leveraging my influence, what have you, to do that. And I do have a team of people that help with that. Blue Bailey, Dr. TJ, Dennis Amadeus, and Damani Corbin we're all kind of like in this together to, see what we can do. So the vision for online is more of like creating a hub where artists can come and connect. I'm thinking about doing like a website where we can post episodes, videos on there, and eventually have some workshops and trainings of, how people teach people how to do spoken word, if that's something they're interested in, or start their own open mic night. And so we're still building the plane as it's flying, but like in the meantime, I'm just trying to be present with keeping people connected. But in terms of like a vision, I think for the online space, that's the direction that I'm going in. And I think I'm really more just kind of playing it by ear, week by week, in terms of like, I don't know how long this is going to last really. So while I have vision, I'm still trying to be very present. But the baseline is just keeping people connected, having fun, and creating that sense of normalcy.
Yes. Well, you mentioned Blue Bailey, who is an absolute force. Coming up, we've got 2 performances, one from her, another from Ray Jimenez. Man, Shawn, before we head over to them, I've absolutely got to ask you, can you give us one more poem, please?
Okay. So this poem that I'm going to do is called Dragon's Blood. I wrote it to sort of highlight what is the definition of a hero after one of my dear friends, Tim Rumsey, had suffered a heart attack, and several weeks later came back out to the open mic night. And I just thought that was just so honorable. And he's just been a huge community coach, encourager in the community. And he recently passed away. And so I've just been thinking about him a lot. And he was some of the inspiration for this piece. So here we go, Dragon's Blood. The fire-breathing beast lies there, soaked in his former glory as a tyrant of an entire city, decapitated and torso still twitching, reptile tail slowly flipping, slipping into oblivion. Besides, it's snack time for the black hole. It's finally over. Law-abiding citizens erupt in an emotional voice of triumph. Long live the king. Our children may have peace. We will dance. We will sing. No longer oppresses the beast. And they repeat this over and over again until that Oreo son of ours dips back into the Milky Way and turns the sky to chocolate milk. Night falls and victory never tasted so sweet. Or so it seems. Because anybody can slay a dragon. But try waking up every morning and loving the world all over again. That's what makes a real hero. A quote by Brian Andreas, but the definition stretches like Armstrong's arms. I know real heroes when I see them. So let me first apologize to Batman in advance. Sorry, Bruce, but real heroes don't wear masks. They don't hide in caves. Matter of fact, most of them reside in unmarked graves. I know what they're made of. They're made out of the older poets who suffered through open heart surgery, only to return back to the open mics and willingly open their hearts, minds, and words of life to a community. They're hardly ever on TV. Real heroes accept and adopt children, or foster them without an agenda, aka paycheck. They don't neglect or molest them, sound the alarm, sirens and all. I was ejected from my motorcycle in I-4 traffic. True story. 3 days later, a car I was riding in became engulfed in flames, melted to the metal frames, and I walk away not even smelling like smoke. Why shouldn't I believe in 12-foot angels? Heroes. Try waking up every morning and loving the world all over again when a loved one falls asleep forever. You, survivor of whatever, you, battling or been through a divorce, I encourage you all to just hold on. The gunfire will cease and the smoke will clear. Humility is rare, but this isn't about biting your tongue. This is about chewing on wisdom and spitting the truth, about doing what's right if it costs you your life. This is why I idolize the most misunderstood man known to mankind. Kindly tell me why there's so much hate in the world when love's been exemplified. Who's your hero? I double dog dare you to tell them tonight. I guarantee the universe will shift right, slightly better, will realign the spine of the third planet's back, and people can stand straight up knowing that not all heroes dress like astronauts. It may include, but it is not limited to a black president. You're not obligated to join the army to be all you can be. Some of the bravest Purple Hearts I know are singing the blues, walking in hand-me-down shoes, yet wake up face to face in front of a bathroom mirror thinking of saving someone other than themselves. These I classify as heroes, classify as she-ros, so go ahead and bury the beast. Celebrate with bloody sword in hand, boasting and bragging. However, just remember that anybody can slay a dragon.
Yes. Oh, Shawn, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think you have healed the people who are experiencing the quarantine, that. All of us. As we transition into Blue and Ray, just really quickly, can you tell us a bit about how you met them? I know you met Blue through your group, Diverse Elements, right?
Yeah, Diverse Elements. That's my crew. We met at AKA Lounge. That was an open mic spot that a few poets used to go to, and we all kind of just met up there. So that's how I met Blue, and then Ray, he's just a phenomenal guy, curator of arts here in Orlando, poetry related events, and so yeah, I just kind of met him just in different poetry circles, and he's helped out quite a bit with Fusion Fest, both of them actually, which is a cultural event during Thanksgiving weekend. And so it's been great getting to know my peers. And They're
Yes.
great poets too.
Yes, Shawn. Well, thank you so much. Right now, we will experience the greatness that are the performances of Blue Bailey and Ray Jimenez. Let's slap it up for them.
Okay, so this I think is my second most personal poem. It's my amplifier poem. I think it tells a lot about my life. So I'm gonna do that one. I said I walk by faith and not by sight, because my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic. I said I walk by faith and not by sight, because my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic. Ever since I had breath in my lungs, I had a story to tell. Kids, I need to keep hungry for knowledge and away from the jail, but I was Jonah in the well. I was too afraid to fail. So how am I help you touch the sky when I'm scared to fly for myself? And when I tried to be fly, then people wanted to judge me. So it's cool for you to be cocky, but my confidence is ugly. I'm gonna cut you off at your knees. You have no stand in my life, because my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic, and I don't need no stage to talk to y'all, because y'all is my kin. Follow the trail of people who hate me if you want to know where I've been. I'm hard work, dedication, and no sleep wrapped in sin. Learned so much from my mistakes. I asked God if we could do it again. My biggest pitfalls in life have been myself and my relationships with men. But God gave me a voice and showed me the power of a pen. Then I found rejuvenation through these poems that I write. That's why my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic. I can stand alone now. I can admit I was scared. Thought I was too fat and not strong. Didn't think I was prepared. The same chicks who brought me up in the game tried to stop my growth. It be them people closest to you that want to hurt you the most. I don't keep my enemies close. How can I explain this? If you're not practicing what you hustling, then we don't speak the same language. And I am not bilingual, but I speak tongues and I write. That's why my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic. I just need to stay strong, because somebody needs to see me. Speak this testimony through poetry and make it look easy. I got fire in my chest. I got hope for days. I write poems when I'm inspired. I don't do this for praise. And yeah, I got some weight on me, but I don't need no gym, because if he don't like the big me, then I don't need him. Was scared of my haters till I found out my haters were scared of me. So I hope my haters are prepared for what I am prepared to be. This is for Will, the real one, and everybody that pushed me to write. For the things I wouldn't have unless I jumped in the fight for the peace I fight for. I'm not right, so I write. That's why my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic. I don't need no stage. I don't need no pen. You want to tell me I'm great? I'm going to tell you I always been. This is God's work. He took a hold of me and wouldn't let loose. Took me through the fire and the storm. Made me water and fireproof for all this work I got to do. There's so much more in me. But both of my parents already angels. So what they daughter going to be but a prayer and a teacher. So my life be this life that write letters to your spirit. If you read it and write back. That's all I'm saying with every breath of my life. Because my heart's my amplifier. I don't need no mic.
For context, I'm part Puerto Rican, I'm part Filipino. The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that aquariums love you. Want to put you on display, point out your parts as if your parents were a car wreck. Twisted metal fragments folded together, parsing which pieces of you came from where, using the words dominant traits and recessive genes like their designer clothing. Meanwhile, zoologists try to resolve you, a broken Rubik's Cube, because no scientist suffers an aberration, drawing categories like fish hooks to hang you on. The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is they don't know which tank to put you in. Sharks keep counting your teeth as though you will make sense once the numbers add up. Dolphins listen to your gills and wonder, why is your nose so flat? They'll try to speak to you in clicks and whistles that only sound like clicks and whistles to you. They will secretly make fun of the size of your blowhole. Sharks will question if you even like chum or if that's too much blood for your mouth to handle. You'll have to prove your evolution with every bite. Try not to play so nicely with humans because it looks bad. The sharks, though, will think there's too much dolphin in you. The dolphins, well, they'll think there's too much shark in you. Can't get past the smoke in your eyes, how you chew too loudly. The thing about being half dolphin, half shark is you learn how to be alienated from both classes. How not to belong to anything because you were born not to belong to anything. You try to remember that your parents birthed you out of love, not permission. Try to remember that unlabeled does not mean unnatural, that labels are zoologist concerns, not yours. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that humans only like you behind glass. You see, people can't handle contradictions. When they see fangs, they need walls to keep you in. List you as threatening, not satisfied unless you're performing. Willing to feed you so long as you stay blunted jaws and raised flipper, but still, you become the nightmare they want to be rid of. Finns swimming down Main Street without asking permission. They start imagining their neighborhoods as steel cages, submerged youth circling to make meals of them. They think they make good meals. No, they smell of spoiled catfish. They know you long for salt water, for ocean floors fathoms from their incessant splashing. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark is that people see what they want to, forget what they want to. Will make you the main course if it feeds them. Will make you the star attraction if it pleases them. But no matter how they tax you, you must remember you're not really half anything. You're a whole everything. You're the stuff of legends, the myths they tell, because that's what humans do when they don't understand something. You become Kraken, Scylla, Charybdis. You become Bigfoot, blurring out assumptions, become Phoenix, rising from the ashes of their disbelief. You must remember that legacy is a wake you leave, and not the grumblings of bipeds who never ventured beyond the shallows of the gene pool. Bipeds who scream and shout and march and burn, but never use their voices to echolocate the truth in the dark. But the thing about being half dolphin, half shark, the most important thing about being half dolphin, half shark, what you must remember about being half dolphin, half shark is that you decide what that means. If you don't, someone will do it for you. Label you a freak, mistake, a traitor, or a fake. They will shove you in the smallest container they can find, smile and wave as you thrash against the sides. Neither your very inheritance is the ocean. That the sea runs through your veins, but it does what it is. You are a colossus of roads standing between continents. You are a bridge in a world filled with walls. You are enough. So don't ever let anyone tell you different. Thank you.
Oh, let's snap it up. Or as Shawn says, let's clap it up. Clap it up for the power of words spoken from true poets right out of Central Florida. Shawn Welcome, please tell us where we can experience more diverse word.
Well, you can email me at Shawn, SHAWN, at polisinstitute.org, POLISINSTITUTE.org. We'll send out links for those that are interested in joining our online platform. Polis Institute is the nonprofit organization which Diverse Word is housed under. We've gotten support from Blacks on Wall Street for consultation and some strategy around building the platform. And so if you're interested, just email me and say I'm interested or what have you. We'll add your name to the email list and send you out a recurring link for shows.
Thank you, Shawn. What a beautiful time we've had. Don't you feel so good? Thank you for joining us on Live from Home. By the way, we're looking for more talent. I know it's out there. All you have to do is submit your video to live@orangetvfl.net along with your contact info through Dropbox or WeTransfer. And we might use it on a future episode of Live from Home. Until next time, stay well.